Hello everyone, the SportLife program is on the air and I, Alexandra Abramova, am here with you. Let's talk about the most high-profile news from the world of mixed martial arts. Already on April 9th, the event that all MMA fans are waiting for will take place. The long-awaited rematch of Peter Yan and Aljamain Sterling will take place at the UFC 273 tournament in Jacksonville, USA. It's impossible to count how many news has been swirling around this fight for a whole year. After Peter's disqualification in March of the 21st, it seemed that the end in this history of this couple will be put not later than in 6 months, but everything dragged on. At first, Sterling was recovering from a neck injury, then the title fight was postponed from March 15 to April, allegedly due to the fact that Yan was not vaccinated. Of course, all of this time, the fighters themselves also felt interest into the fight with constant skirmishes on the net. Everyone accused each other of the cowardice, lies, and lack of professionalism. However, very soon we will be able to see the denouement of the story. On March 27, Peter said on his social networks that he has already arrived in Miami after successful training camps and was ready to start weight loss. In the published video, he advised the opponent to hide and later stated that Sterling's prayers were not answered. Aljamain himself replied this as follows: "I can't wait to bury you." Russian fans of the fighter have no doubt about the idol's victory. However, they expressed fears that current political situation may play a bad joke with Yan as well as with Alexander Volkov. Let's hope for the successful outcome of the match and Peter's defense of the UFC champion title. The news from the overseas promotion does not end there. As part of the UFC 205 tournament on the night of March 26 till 27, a duel between Russian fighter Alexei Oleinik and Swedish Ilir Latifi was to take place in Columbus, USA. However, just a couple of days before the tournament, Alexei's opponent withdrew from the competition due to an illness unrelated to the coronavirus. Alexei Oleinik personally told the MMA-TV.com TV channel his opinion about the incident and the details of it. On last weekend, the second qualifying tournament of the Junior Mixed Martial Arts League JFC Pride took place in Moscow. This unique sports project is engaged in the search of the talented, promising young fighters aged between 12 and 20. Any teenager can become a participant of the qualifying matches. The main thing is to be in martial arts for at least 6 months. Then everything is like for adult athletes. Weight categories, draws, duel according to the current official rules of wrestling discipline Pancratian. More than 200 young athletes from our country and CIS countries took place in the Moscow qualifying stage. I'm happy with the qualifying tournament. I think there will be new perspectives today, which many people will learn about and hear about in the future. What qualities should the fighters of your organization have? What would you like to see in them? I would like them to know how to cope with their emotions, be savvy as athletes, not to be afraid of cameras and be able to present their emotions correctly to the audience, because nowadays it's not enough to just be an athlete, you also need to be a showman. JFC Pride is the first and only promotion for juniors in Russia. Its main task is to select the brightest and most talented guys, make them media personalities, popular and in demand, give them the opportunity to develop in the future to present their interests in the professional leagues of Russia and around the world. The organization plans to hold qualifying tournaments in all regions of the country. Thus, the best of the best will take part in the final tournament, and it is with the winners that JFC will be ready to sign the contracts. The most interesting moments of the qualifying tournament can be found in our social networks and in the author's blog of Victoria Tsikhovskaya. And on the air of the MMA-TV.com TV channel, very soon you will be able to see the 2 seasons of exciting numbered league fights that have already taken place. Follow the announcements. Meanwhile, I'll remind you that already on April 15 in Moscow at the Bolshoi Circus on Vernadsky Avenue, the biggest event of the spring will take place, MMA Series-50 Grand Arena, where you will be able to see an incredible tandem of circus performances and professional sports. All information about the purchase of tickets for the tournaments as well as the live broadcast is already available on the MMA-Series.com website. And now let's talk about the main card of the upcoming tournament. The representative of the club, Kuznia Yakov Ekimov, will enter the octagon for the 8th time as part of the MMA Series tournament. Recall that in all of the fights on our side, the fighter got victories. His new opponent will be the first fighter from India in the history of the series. Vyas has had 16 professional fights, 11 of them were victorious. The athlete's last appearance in the octagon took place in January last year, where he was able to close his defeat at the Brave CF tournament in November 2019. Undoubtedly, it is in the Indians' interest to continue his professional winning streak. However, Kushal had no experience of participating in 5-round fights, while Yakov Akimov had already passed a similar test of strength in a duel against Danielson Mares. Let's see if the Indian school of mixed martial arts can surprise us. For the long-awaited title fight with the participation of Morum's Conor McGregor, as promised, we have picked up an experienced fighter who will be able to test the combat arsenal of Sergei Babyshev on all fronts. The new opponent of the People of the Model Club will be a Kyrgyz fighter who has not yet performed at our tournaments. However, he cannot be called a beginner in the professional MMA for sure. Tursunbek Asılgaziev has 15 victories and 7 defeats on his account. According to the history of the fighter's victories, it is clear that he can fight both 3 full rounds and finishing fights ahead of schedule with knockouts or painful techniques. At the moment, Tursunbek is leading a winning streak of 4 fights, so it will be in his interest to make his best and vividly declare himself on the MMA Series side. The main card of the MMA Series 50th anniversary tournament promises to be very representative. Earlier, we have already talked about the fights in the Grand Prix. You can see the participants of the other fights on your TV screens. The pupil of the Kyrgyz club Erim Ali Mashrapov, who has 18 professional fights on his account, 10 of which are successful, will enter the octagon charged for victory. Since June 21st, after losing at the 34th tournament of the series to Alexander Duramanov, Ali has lost 2 more times. It will be incredibly difficult for him to interrupt the series of failures this time, because Mashrapov's opponent will be Andrei Lebedev, a student of the Kuzna club who has performed 5 times in the series tournaments and each time successfully. Andrei's last fight in the cage of the MMA series took place in November last year, where Lebedev defeated Mamadiyar Duniyar by technical knockout in the 2nd round. In the featherweight category, we will see the 7th performance of Ilya Barbarsky in the series. In total, a pupil of the Reboxing and Spartak Kaluga clubs took 3 victories on our side and held the same number of the draw matches. Ilya's last appearance in the octagon of the series took place in November of the 21st, where following the results of 3 full rounds, the judges gave him a victory over Vyacheslav Geraskin. Barbarsky's new opponent will be Tajik fighter Amirali Saidashurov with a 7-4 record, who has not yet performed in the series. That's how intense and interesting the upcoming MMA Series tournament promises to be. And I want to announce that the voting on the MMA-TV.com Awards 2021 will end in April 1st at 23 hours 59 minutes. You have last hours to cast your vote for your favorite fighter. We will publish the results of the voting in the nearest future and reward all the winners. It was the SportLife program and its host Alexandra Abramova. See you on the air every Thursday.